This is self-regulation skill, self-love. So, how do you build self-love? Well, you may have heard of the five love languages. They are affirmations, acts of service, quality time, physical touch, and gifts. Okay. So, when you are trying to develop self-love, you can use these five love languages. So, we're going to go into each of them. But before we do, I want to clarify who needs this. And the answer is everybody. So, if you're in a relationship, if you have self-love and you're giving yourself the love languages, what you're going to find is you're going to be more stable in the relationship. You're going to be less likely to overgive, not take responsibility for other people's emotions, not feel so vulnerable in the relationship. You're going to be in non-resistance to other people's stuff. So if they start pulling away, you're not going to chase after them or need them for you to be okay. So by building our self-love, even when things are good in our relationship, it can help our relationships to be healthy. Because when we have a healthy relationship, really is two people that deeply love themselves. So if you want to improve your relationship, build on your self-love. So you're going to be less likely to be triggered by other people's stuff. And you're going to know that you're okay. And that's what's going to give you the capacity to not react when someone else is struggling and hurting and not capable of giving you the love that, of course, you deserve. The other reason why we want to develop this is when we're alone. So when we're struggling, when someone does pull away, or we're single for a period, or we're in a relationship that's really not flowing, so there's not much connection, things are kind of dead, and you're wanting to make things better, we want to start with self-love. So when you are alone, it can be very painful, especially if you're in a relationship and then it's ended suddenly, because if you were receiving some form of love from that person, even if it was on and off or toxic in nature, it was still reminding you of the truth of your lovability, and that felt really good. Um, but all loving thoughts and actions are true. Everything else is a call for help and healing, and not everyone is consistently capable of giving you the love that you deserve. And this is what makes you vulnerable in relationships if you depend on other people for your self-love. So then if they pull back, this is what causes depression when a relationship ends or a spouse dies, or even a beloved pet passes. There's going to be another layer of pain beyond the grief because now we've attached, okay, that person, that pet made me feel like I was loved, and now I'm not. Right. So this builds up your psychology so that you can get through those times when you're alone. You can get through the bumps in the relationship when your partner's not capable of showing up for you. You can show up for yourself. Okay. So acts of service. This is doing things for yourself. So when you brush your teeth, when you make your bed, acknowledging that you're doing this as an act of love to yourself. So when we attach things that we are doing as an act of love to ourselves, you'll enjoy doing it more, one, because you're not doing the self-abuse, I have to, I ought to, I should. It's you're wanting to, but you're also doing it with the expression of love. I'm doing this as an act of love. I'm going to clean my room as an act of love. Okay. That's an act of service. Affirmations. So we've already done mirror work. So mirror work is a form of affirmation. So talking love to yourself, reminding yourself the truth, reminding yourself that you're so lovable, you're beautiful, you're handsome, that you're always enough, you never deserve attack, and building yourself up the way that you would want a partner to, or that you'd hope that your spouse would, or a future partner. So affirmations so that your light can shine, and this will build your confidence as well, when you're in a social setting. So touch. So we're not talking about masturbation when we say touch. We're talking about physical touch. So when you touch yourself like this, okay, it builds oxytocin similar to when someone else touches you. So the exercise would actually be physical touch like this. Okay. And you can go up and down your legs, you can rub your feet, holding your own hand, okay? That is the action, and it will build filling your cup in that capacity. So if you're someone that has physical touch as a love language, and then your relationship ends, or it's long distance, or your partner's struggling and they pull away, it can be very difficult, but you can make it better by giving yourself the love and then saying, I love myself so much, giving yourself a hug. Sometimes you just need a hug, giving yourself a hug. And often people don't think that, that's something that we can do, but we can and it works. Just like talking to yourself in the mirror and giving yourself love and making that eye contact, that also will fill your cup. Okay. It's physical touch. So quality of time would be taking yourself on a date, going out for dinner, or going for a walk by yourself. But it's the energy behind it. So we can have the energy, oh, I'm so alone. I have no one to do stuff with. So I'm so sad. Or we can say, I am going to be my own best date. I am going to spend quality time with myself because I'm a freaking amazing person. And it's okay to talk to yourself. It's okay to laugh out loud. And when you're watching a movie with yourself, um, it's all good. So just in trying to spend some quality time with yourself. And finally, gifts. So gifts, whatever feels loving. So it could be going and picking flowers for yourself. It could be purchasing something. It could not be purchasing something. You have to gauge what feels loving. So if financially, you're in a place where it's not loving for you to go spend $300 on a gift for yourself, then to do that, would be an act of self-harm. So it's not all of these in and of themselves are neutral. We have to apply the meaning. So gift giving in a way that is loving to you. Okay, like I said, it doesn't have to be something that you bought. You could pick flowers, make something for yourself, write yourself a card that would have affirmation in it and gift. Okay. So the point of going through the love languages is to acknowledge that, yes, we all need love. We all have a certain way that we express love. I will put a link for you to explore what your love language is, if you don't already know. And then making sure that you're giving yourself that love language. Active service, is one that's often, and physical touch is often overlooked in our ability to give to ourselves. So I'm challenging that for you, okay? Next time you make your bed, say, I'm doing this because I love myself. You tidy your room. I'm doing this because I love myself. You do the dishes. I'm doing this because I love myself. Anything that you would do for somebody else, you can do for yourself. If you want to be touched by somebody else, touch yourself. If you want to touch somebody else, touch yourself, okay? Um, that sounds kind of bad. Um, but I think you're getting my point. We need to fill our own cup, and this is actually going to increase our capacity to love others. So we're not saying, your partner's like, "Hey, honey, can I snuggle?" And then you're like, "No, I'm going to snuggle myself." It's at the times when you are not in that it's not the ideal time for you to receive love from your partner. That's the time we want to level that up. And then also when you're alone. So try these skills out, give yourself a hug, and speak only love to yourself because it's all you ever deserve.